Gleaming the Cube is a film that deals with rebellion, skateboarding, adoption, culture clash, Cold War politics, brotherhood, and murder. The film was directed by Graham Clifford and written by Michael Tolkien. It was released in 1989 and starred Christian Slater and Stephen Bauer. The heart of the film is the relationship between two polar opposite brothers. Brian Kelly, the main character, is a rebellious teenager who only cares about skateboarding. His adopted brother Vin does well in school, has a girlfriend, and works for his girlfriend's father after school. Brian's only ambition is to skate, while Vin's ambitions are set on the future. There's an admiration between the two, but they live completely different lives. Everything changes for the brothers once Vin finds something off with shipping manifests at his company. This leads to the death of Vin and Brian's mission to prove Vin was killed and did not commit suicide. There are a few story elements that make this more than just a teen angst story that is prevalent in the genre. The first was showing skateboarding's legitimate skill set and not just a gimmick. Clifford brought in Stacy Peralta and the Bones Brigade to do all the skateboarding stunts. The Bones Brigade was Mike McGill, Tony Hawk, Tommy Guerrero, Rodney Mullins, Lance Mountain, Steve Caballero. They were a group of teenage professional skaters who helped pioneer skateboarding into an international known sport. Mike McGill did the majority of Christian Slater's stunts, save for Rodney Mullins' freestyle work in the warehouse scene. Tony Hawk and Tommy Guerrero did more than just stunt work. They both had roles as Brian's friends, so they were seen throughout the film. The presence of real skaters as actors and stuntmen not only brought about authenticity to the film, but helped propel the industry and sport of skateboarding. A generation of kids went out and bought skateboards because of this film. The next element is adoption. Vin being adopted created a dynamic for the Kellys not often seen in the film. A rebellious son and a scholastic son was far from an original story point, but by making one of the sons adopted, this created a new type of tension. Parents in the film usually are shown to favor the son who does well, so Vin being the good son made Brian's rebellion more layered and less cliched. There are not a lot of scenes between the two brothers, but the film makes good use of their time together to establish their relationship. The final element is culture clash. There is a clash between the skateboarders and society. The opening scene of Brian and his friends illegally skating, the empty swimming pool, and their interaction with the police, and the homeowner afterwards shows they have little regard for law and private property. This refusal to toe the line and behave follows Brian all the way through the film. He's rebellious to his parents, police, and even the villains in the film. His antagonistic behavior does not come off overtly rude because Slater still played him with some charm. The next clash would be Brian and the Vietnamese culture. The Vietnam War had ended for America in the early 70s, so this film takes place roughly 20 years after the war. The only real mention of the war is Colonel Trek. He's Vin's boss and father to Vin's girlfriend Tina. The film never states what side the colonel fought for, but being that he relocated to the United States and running guns to Vietnam is a good indicator that he fought for southern Vietnam, who opposed the communists. Even though the Kellys adopted Vin, he's very much a part of the Vietnamese culture in the city. This says a lot about his adopted parents. His father quite possibly could have been drafted into the war, but it's not mentioned. He's of the age that would have gone to war, so for them to adopt him and encourage him to be part of his culture showed that Brian had a selfish understanding of his parents. Brian's mission to find out who killed his brother forces him to interact with the Vietnamese culture. It is clear that even though he cared for Vin, he doesn't have much to do with his culture because all he cared about was being rebellious. The film does well to show how the place Brian looks when he's in the Vietnamese part of the city. Also, Brian's friendship with Tina has its own cultural clash. Colonel Trek does not want his daughter having American friends who are boys, so there's some good tension built off of that. All these elements tie in well to give a satisfying ending. Brian's refusal to accept his brother's death as suicide leads not only to proving Vin was killed, but exposed illegal gun running. The final act is action-packed. Shootouts, car chases, kidnapping, and some fantastical skateboarding. As much as I love the ending, the skateboarding goes a little bit over the top. Yet, over the top fits this film.